Welcome to the Dumb Dominos podcast. As always, I'm Chase.
Josh.
Zach.
And today we're going to be doing House of the Dragon Season 1, Episode 2. So I'm ready to jump right in it. What'd you think of the intro? A little throwback.
We got an actual intro this time.
Yeah.
I want an apology, Chase, about the intro.
Well, here's the thing about me. I don't apologize.
I told you that they were going to use the intro, and they did.
It was cool.
And I actually liked it. It wasn't as good as the original.
Copyright, Josh.
That's it. We're done. Look, man.
It wasn't as good as the original.
You don't have any problem with all that it's the same exact intro from Game of Thrones?
I'm talking about the cinematic too. Like going.
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
The
okay.
cinematic looked good.
It didn't bother me that it used the same intro.
It was a feel good for you?
No, but it wasn't. Well,
The song
here's
was.
the thing. The first 5 seasons had it, and I liked the first 5 seasons. So yeah,
You're not gonna beat that song. I'm sorry.
I liked it.
I honestly don't think they have their
Did
own song.
Did The Hobbit have the same music as Lord of the Rings? I'm asking.
I don't remember.
I don't think so.
Star Wars kind of did.
Oh yeah, The Shire had the same music, didn't it?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I don't remember.
Possibly.
It wasn't memorable. So what did you think of this episode?
I actually liked this one a lot more than the previous one. I actually got passionate about a few parts, so
Just go ahead and tell us.
I mean, spoilers coming in, obviously.
We failed to do that last time.
Spoilers. We're going to talk about the episode that's titled.
Yeah. I just let people know, just in case they don't get it.
I don't think people are going to be watching or listening to episode 2.
You never know, man. I've seen some crazy things on the
People
internet.
just jump in on episode 2.
You just spoiled everything.
You spoiled it all. I can't believe you talked about the title.
That's happened. All right, but I loved the scene. I'm just going to jump right in the middle of it. I loved the scene where they were on the wall of Dragonstone and she flies in on the dragon and pretty much ends the conflict right then and there. I loved it.
Epic.
No build up for you, huh? You just jumped right into the biggest thing of the episode.
That was the best part of this this episode.
I think about to say this season.
This season, yeah.
Actually, yes, it was the best part of this season.
Go ahead and pencil it in. It ain't
so
gonna
far,
get no better than Rhaenyra riding a dragon onto Dragonstone.
Rhaenyra looks so cool on that gold dragon.
Yeah, she's what everybody wanted Dany to be.
Mm-hmm.
She's noble. She's in the line of power. Like everything that Dany worked for from day one, Rhaenyra's already got it.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. Dany was aspiring to be like Rhaenyra, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's nothing I don't like about her so far.
Yeah.
Everything I absolutely love. It's what I wanted Daenerys to be.
I gotta say, I am dreading, and this isn't insulting the actors that are gonna come during the time split, during the time jump.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. I'm already getting
worried.
I'm getting attached to the princess at a young age, and I do not. I don't know if the next actor can live up to this one. I mean, just as far as character, I don't want to see the character change, like the mannerisms of when she's younger.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've noticed when you have a young actor and an old actor play the same character, they talk different or they act different than they would. It's just their mannerisms
You're
change.
saying it chapter 1, chapter 2.
Yeah. It's like they're not that character. I understand, they change and mature, but there still has to be just the simplicity of the mannerism, the way she acts, the way she walks and talks and carries herself.
I'm glad you brought that up because I think we are heading into a huge problem. Everyone is, just like Josh said, I'll give you credit, everyone online, people I know, are absolutely in love with Rhaenyra.
Mm-hmm.
Millie Alcock. Is it Alcock?
I can't remember.
Something like that. Millie Adcock, that's it. But anyway, everyone's in love with her, and it's the first thing you get out of the gate of this season.
Mm-hmm.
So if you say to yourself, this season's good because of how good
Rhaenyra.
Lady Alicent is,
Yeah.
how good Rhaenyra is, and then I know there's a possibility they're just going to yank the rug out from underneath us. Like, you might get them in some sort of flashback, but there's probably going to be an instance in this season where they're just gone. It's over.
Yeah.
And you're not going to get those actors.
You're going to see like a 6-7 years later kind
What
of
I
deal.
think they should have done, and this is going to be controversial to people that probably like the book, but I think they should have changed the timeline of this whole show compared to the book. Have the same events happen.
Here we go.
But somehow make it to where it happens within 5 years and do it slow throughout this young actress's life as this character.
Well, you don't want to be thrown into a Stranger Things scenario where the kids are too old to be in high school anymore.
Well, yeah, but this isn't high school. This is medieval times.
I'm saying like during filming, like she's supposed to be 16 and she's 23 and she looks like an adult because that's
just
how
have
filming
it
is.
year by year, but have the main events instead of spreading out through multiple years. Have it condensed into a couple of years.
So, can I tell you about this? So this show and this season is supposed to be in a 7-year span. So the actress playing Rhaenyra is 15 in the show, 22 in real life. Well, Emma Darcy, who's going to play the older version of her, she's only 30 in real life, and it's supposed to be like a 7-8 year time jump. So she's not going to be like a middle-aged lady or anything. She's just going to be a fully matured, in her prime Rhaenyra.
Okay.
Why not just keep the actress we have?
I'm just telling you what's going to happen.
Wait a minute, you're telling me Rhaenyra in the show is 22?
In real life, she is.
Really?
Well, they shot it, and then they had the COVID delay. She was probably 20.
Here's a good example.
Yeah, but she just doesn't. She looks a lot.
Everyone loves Lord of the Rings, right? Everybody.
Oh,
the
boy.
movies. I mean, y'all probably
not
realize
Lord of
this.
the Rings.
No, I'm using this as an example. In Lord of the Rings, and y'all probably already, a lot of people probably
I've never
already know
seen
this,
Mm-mm.
but Gandalf, when he gave Frodo that ring and put it in the envelope, and he said, "Keep it secret, keep it safe," and he went to Minas Tirith archives or whatever they call it, I forgot. Yeah, the library, to look at the history of the rings of power, or any rings, I guess, any magic rings.
Yeah.
And it took him 17 years to figure out that knowledge and return. And in the movie, it was just like a day or two. But in the books and in the lore, that took 17 years.
Frodo had that ring for 17 years?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Really?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. In the movies, they cut that out and made it seem like it was a couple days to a week.
Well, what did you want them to do in between?
No, it worked. But here's the thing. I wish they would have done something like that for this. Have it not take 17 years. Keep the same actress. Have every event happen, but have it happen quicker. And if it can't have it quicker, then extend what you have into more seasons. That's what I'm saying. Because now you're going to get an actor that I can guarantee you people are going to get attached to this character, and then the new ones are going to come along, and people are going to be upset that the actor didn't live up to the younger actress.
Well, you're not wrong at that. I will say that I do know the actress who's going to play Lady Alicent, and I do know who's going to play Rhaenyra, and they're both fine actors. So we could all could be completely dead wrong, but it still doesn't change the fact that you started this show on the foot of Millie Adcock and making us fall in love with these characters, and you're just going to change it all. Every one of them, even the ones that you don't care about, they're going to be older. Mm-hmm. The King, the Sea Snake, Otto Hightower, they're all going to be older. Are they still going to be relevant, or are they going to be like just old people that are going to die? Like, how's that going to work?
Well, we know Damon's probably going to still be in decent shape.
If you go, would you still? I'm just asking on a
personal basis.
If Jon Snow was,
say
younger, and you
Jon
really
Snow.
and you really fell in love with his character, could you accept an older actor after you've gotten so attached to?
I mean, it's
that
hypothetical.
I'm just saying.
Maybe not.
I mean, I don't know.
I'll say this in the sense of It Chapter 2, because that's essentially what's happening. I was much more attached to the kids than when they got older than the adults. I didn't care about the adults as much. I didn't care about their...
You didn't care about Jessica Chastain?
Not really.
Academy Award-winning actress?
It didn't...
Will Smith is an Academy.
Oh
actor,
boy,
and-
he's an Academy Award slappy.
Yeah, and he's been in a couple crappy movies in his day. Doesn't mean all of his movies are hits. I mean, ask The Rock that.
What are we talking about?
I don't know.
People being movie hits?
I lost the point.
No. Like just because she's a good actor doesn't mean she can't blow it on a certain role.
We have to give these new ones a fair shake.
I know, but
That's how we got
I'm
Henry.
not saying they're going to do bad. I'm just saying people are not going to probably get attached to them the same way they did the young actress.
Well,
or these
that's
young
fair.
actors.
That's a fair point. We're
That's
going to have
all I'm
ourselves
saying.
a real dilemma. And it could ruin the show, or it could, fit like a glove.
Yeah,
Go seamless.
Maybe nothing happens. Maybe it all works out.
That's what I'm hoping for. Is that it makes sense. It feels right. It doesn't take away from what the show is and what it set up.
What if I was doing this as a director? What I would personally do is have both actresses stay near each other and piggyback off of each other as far as scenes go. The older actress gives the younger actress pointers, and then maybe the younger actress is trying to act like a kid, and then the older actress, sees that and she's like, I want to keep a little bit of my childhood in this, since, she's a kid, so she's, younger, and
I very much
her mannerisms and stuff. You know what I mean?
I very much believe that most likely that's what's going to happen.
I hope
Is
so, because that would surely help.
I can't
both
imagine that they
actresses.
wouldn't have done something similar to that. Keep them somewhat close together, so where they can kind of know who each other are and feel the same.
By the way, this episode was 10 times better than the last one.
I think
that's your personal opinion.
Yes, it is.
It is.
It is better, but not by a lot.
I liked it a lot more. The story made more sense to me. It was explained slowly over time and not just thrown out.
Well, it had to be thrown out in the first one for you
It
to
didn't
understand
have to
this
be.
one.
No, it did not.
100%.
No, it did not.
Josh, you had so many different characters that you had to introduce and
Star
different
Wars
plot
did
lines.
it.
Oh, Lord.
You really want to
The
get
original
into
Star
Star
Wars.
Wars?
Yeah, A New Hope
How
did
many
it.
concepts did they throw at you?
But it wasn't
beginning?
confusing. It wasn't laid out on a table. It was explained throughout a couple scenes. Not one scene where they're at a meeting.
You should already understand the concept. It's kind of
I
like
understand it now.
it's like the Phantom Menace, Josh. Like you just see these two guys in robes with light sticks just burn a hole in a door, and you see these viceroys running around scared, and trade federations. What is all this crap that you're talking? What's a trade federation? What do they have to do with Star Wars? Same concept, Josh.
Whatever, Zachary. I'm done arguing with you.
I'm just saying.
Okay, well, let me change the topic. How about that? I want to talk about the sea snake himself, Corlys Valerian.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Let's talk about that story.
He's the master of ships, and we got a little problem in the Stepstone Islands.
Mm-hmm.
We've got what I like to call the Crab King.
The crab.
Deadliest catch, or whatever he's
What are
supposed to
you?
be.
He's out the Northwesterns out there
Man.
sinking ships by the dozen, turning people into
Yeah.
crabs.
So you're telling me he's the Davy Jones of crabs?
Yes.
The crabber guy, funny enough, I did want to bring that up. He looks like the Davy Jones henchman in Pirates of the Caribbean.
The snail guy, right? Is that the one you're talking
So
about? That got his head knocked off?
I didn't want to get too deep into it, but I think they did take a little reference from that.
He looked like a goblin to me, like in the brief moments we saw him until the full reveal, I guess he'd
No,
say.
he looked like a fish man.
I thought he looked like a goblin.
So we were all thinking to ourselves, is this episode going to have a lot of gore? Well, Mr. Crabman, I don't know. He nailed people. He nailed people onto stakes, and he let the tide bring in crabs that ate the flesh off these men alive. A crab climbed in the guy's leg, and he went, oh!
But this wasn't.
He was like, oh my
gruesome.
God.
This wasn't near as gruesome. This reminded me of like. I mean,
what are you talking about?
It was like something out of Saw.
Showed the crab crawling in the guy's
It sure wasn't as bad as getting your junk cut
How about the scene where
you're not wrong about that, but I just want to.
What about the scene where the king, has a rotting finger?
Oh my goodness!
What are they gonna do? They're gonna stick his hand in a bowl of maggots.
Funny enough, that is like one of the best things you can do.
That's disgusting.
But it's also disgusting.
Yeah.
But you know what? That is very smart. I mean,
as long as they don't crawl into your skin.
Hey, at least the maesters in this show are pretty smart. They're like, he's got an open wound that won't heal. Let's cauterize it. I'm like, wow, that's pretty smart.
Yeah. He's like, there's dead flesh all over your finger. Let's let the maggots take care of that.
Yeah, it's like, man.
I would just chopped it off and burned it. You know?
just
burn
the whole finger.
You're going to have like a John Wick when he cut his finger off.
Yeah, just go.
And then they put that hot metal. God! Okay, but I'm getting off of it. So what, I want to start here and then lead into something. What do you think of the crab guy, the Crab King?
I don't know.
I should know his like name, but I'm just gonna give him the nickname of the Crab King.
So the concept of the Crab King is that basically he's disrupting the Valerians' trade ship.
Okay, so there's
shipping trade.
There's free cities all in there, and my hunch is that the free city all got their money together, kind of the high ups of these free cities, to kind of hire him as a bane, like a mercenary, to disrupt, to rob trade ships, to kind of
pull a Robin Hood.
Yeah, bolster. No, that's the opposite of Robin Hood.
Is it?
I think they're doing it so that because they're a free city, they can up their standing in the world. Like they
like steal from the rich and give to themselves to make themselves a power.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I think of it. And so the sea snake, Corlys Valerian, he's saying, how can you let these free cities destroy my ships? And if you think of like that time period, a ship is as valuable as like. It's top.
Yeah.
It's like owning a mansion.
Like an army.
It's like a tank. Like I would say that's
just as important as the army itself.
And so he's basically saying to the king in both episodes, he's saying, how can you let these guys disrupt our trade? Like, that's costing the crown money. That's costing me money. It's delaying goods.
And it's saying to the free cities and to the rest of the realm that this is okay.
Yeah.
It's complicated because, open war.
Yeah, that's what the king said.
City.
Yeah.
Or city-state.
Okay, so I think it's important to put this in context. I don't know if y'all know this. But these Stepstone Islands, they're small islands, but there's probably 6 or 7 of them, right? And so Dragonstone, I'm going to use this I'm pointing at my computer for the audio listeners. Like, King's Landing is here, right on the coast, and then you go through water, and here's Dragonstone. Well, right here is the Stepstone Islands, and it's like pump, 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 and then there's Pentos and Essos and whatnot. Because in the history, the Stepstones was actually a fully formed pass from Essos to Westeros.
It was like a land bridge kind
of
thing?
But to protect themselves from invaders, they broke it up into islands so they could better be defended, so invaders couldn't just ride right into Westeros and take them. But it is the direct path from Essos, Pentos, all those, directly from there, straight line, like a latitude line.
Into King's Landing.
So I think it's a lot more important than they're really saying. Well, I mean, the sea snake is. He's like, are you going to do something? So actually, before I really...
Is his kingdom in the Stepstones?
No, they're just...
That's just where his trade ships
go through.
It is a direct line from Essos, most rich cities like Pentos, straight into King's Landing. So I have to believe that's pretty much the richest trading lane.
So is this?
And he has the keys to it with his ships. So if you think about it like that, he's doing the top business.
Is this just one guy destroying all these ships?
I mean, he's the leader, but I think
it seems like
they
him
have
and his Barry Man to Misfits.
Okay.
Yeah, he has like a crew.
If it's just a one ship and crew worth of men, I would have already went down there.
I think they have a whole crew of pirates.
And arrested and...
No, that's not the problem, Josh. The problem is the free cities will say that you are attacking the free cities. They're not going to admit that they paid a bunch of pirates.
Not if they're not on the free city land.
No, it's under the table.
It's under the table. So the free cities are going to unite against the crown and say that they were unjustly attacked. That's politics.
But is it even on their land, though?
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. They're going to say...
All you have to do if you're King's Landing is say, we didn't know it was your men.
That doesn't matter.
And compensate them for it.
That doesn't matter.
Well, that still creates distrust, which will lead to a rebellion.
It creates a huge discord between the free cities and the crown. And you don't, as Viserys said, you don't want that. Even if you rationally put it, they're not going to put it that way, because obviously by hiring these pirates, they want a problem with the crown to begin with. So then you just give them the ammunition they need. They're going to say, oh, he's a tyrant. He's a tyrant. He's attacking free city. What would you call those?
How big are these free cities?
There's enough that it would cause a problem. Like if
what
they
about
all
compared
united.
To the Seven Kingdoms?
And they don't answer to the realm, which is.
What about compared to the Seven Kingdoms?
Well, here's the thing you're not thinking about. Even if, so let's just say you attack the pirates and then the free cities unite against you. You have a war. So that war is going to cost a lot of money. It's going to look bad on you, and it's going to leave you open for another invader.
And you're losing men on top of that.
And you're going to lose men, and you're in incredible peacetime, and you don't want to mess that up.
Mm-hmm.
Here's my solution. And I'm just going to throw this out, but it would be too logical. Just have one of the Targaryens fly up in there with a dragon, and basically you can either tell them, or if you want to show a little force and say, listen, you know what happens when they see dragons. You've seen that in Game of Thrones. They go, oh, and say, well, listen here, pal.
Have a dragon escort.
I'm sitting on the back of my dragon here, and you tell these pirates or their pirate king, look, pal, either you disband and you don't mess with one ship, or I'll take my dragon here and have it be looking ominous, which it will, and say, I'll burn your entire fleet down. I don't think, that's my opinion.
Yeah.
A good old show of force with a dragon. That's basically saying we're gonna drop a nuclear bomb on you if you don't stop, and you'll know if he doesn't stop. Okay, we'll just burn all these pirates.
We gave you fair warning.
And you'll have a display that's so powerful that like the politics won't matter. The free cities will be like, you want us to go unite against these dragons?
Did you see what one dragon did against a fleet? They got 10.
So what I think is, I know I'm like hogging screen time here, but what I think is they're in so much peacetime that they've almost lost their nerve a little bit in showing their force with their dragons. Like a problem with these pirates, you should, a Targaryen rider should ride out there with that dragon and immediately meet it. Like,
well, that was Daenerys' whole game plan. Like, she's like, I'm just going to show up with my dragons, and that'll force everyone.
Yeah, you remember.
And then look what happened.
Yeah.
Well, you remember when all those high and mighty lords told her, yeah, we're not going to listen to you, and that dragon flew down behind her and burnt him.
It didn't work as well in Westeros as it did across the narrow sea.
Yeah, but I would like to point out that the Targaryens are the clear leaders. So they're the clear party in power here. So how much, well, let me ask you this. How much do you think the Crab King, the pirate guys, how much do you think they're going to play into this?
So far, we don't know enough about them, so I don't know what to think.
Well, they've mentioned them in both episodes.
Well, no, but they've never shown a thing, though. Like they did the White Walkers. They
more speculation.
Yeah, I know.
If I were to guess, I'm going to say that they're going to be probably one of the main reasons why everything goes to shambles.
So if Damon attacks them,
or hires him.
I think Damon is going to be the biggest problem.
Well, Damon's going to be the biggest
He's
problem.
going to be He's going to be a bigger problem than the fish people and the free city.
I think he's going to use he's going to unite the free cities against the crown.
I definitely could see that.
And he's going to
not already.
And he's going to use the fish people as the bait to do so.
He can do that, or he can just attack them without the permission of the crown, and then all of a sudden, he's creating a war between
the crown and the free cities.
So that works for him too, because chaos is a ladder.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to get in touch with the gold company, I guess.
I mean, he's controlling the gold cloaks, right? The
I don't know how many
people across.
I know who you're talking about.
Didn't he say? They said in the first episode that he was running 2,000 men, right, Damon, when he was running as a Kingsguard?
I believe so. So he's got.
And he took all
do you think he took all
2,000?
Yeah, it's like he has a little unit, but it's like you don't really have enough men to make a showing. But what he does have is a dragon. So against anything but a Targaryen, he's gonna mop the floor with him. They don't have any ballistas. They don't have Euron Greyjoy behind a rock. Can I just tell you something real quick?
You love Euron.
They were out in an open ocean with 2 dragons, and they're flying way above. You're telling me that they couldn't see Euron's fleet way up there? They're in an open ocean with a dragon that's flying high, and you're telling me that nobody could have seen Euron?
No.
No one saw it, Chase.
Man, he was hiding, huh?
Yeah, he sure was.
Yeah,
he was behind. He's like, must be a tiny little thing hiding somewhere behind the pearl. Except it was a rock.
But yeah, I think Damon. Well, let me ask you this, pertaining exactly to the episode. How is the relationship between the sea snake and Damon? I get that they want to form a bond, but I don't really understand, like, what is their bond going to lead to?
He wants...
I know what he wants.
He'll probably, after they take everything, he'll probably want Damon to become the king and have him marry his daughter. Well, the 14 or the 12-year-old.
I think that was a horrible idea, and I absolutely hated it. Their 7-year-old is trying to marry the king.
That was common in medieval times.
But I don't care.
I'm not saying it's right, but that was common.
It was a business marriage.
Yes.
They're not going to do anything until she's older.
I hope to God that's true.
Look, man, it's business.
Different times.
It's different times.
It's just
medieval
good business.
times.
It's just good business.
Yeah.
So I mean, of course.
My thing is, I think the sea snake knows what Damon wants. Damon wants to become king, and the sea snake doesn't necessarily want to become king, but he wants lineage to become king.
And he wants to be rich and powerful. And if he loses his
position,
cash cow to these pirates, if he loses those ships, he loses the richest. He's like literally, he's raking it in, and he'll lose that.
I understand where he's coming from, but I'm gonna pull a Théoden here and say I would not risk open war.
Yeah, I mean
who shouldn't?
The king.
Oh, the king. I thought we were talking about Damon.
Why? He's in pertaining.
No. If I was the king and I was hearing his proposition, we got to stop these pirates from destroying my ships, I would have been like, I understand where you're coming from, but I will not risk open war.
That's what he said.
Free cities.
Well, that's also why.
That's exactly what he said.
That's what I would personally do.
Well, that's why I also like what Rhaenyra did. She said, "I'm going to go and take the dragon egg back, and all this stuff, and avoid bloodshed.
Man,
avoid all the fighting, get the egg back, return home, and everything's hunky-dory."
She's really shown what a formidable force she is. When Otto Hightower went to Dragonstone to get that Ed back, it was going to be a massacre.
He was going to... No, well, it was going to be a one-sided massacre, too, because that dragon showed up.
I did enjoy the banter between Otto and Damon.
He insulted his wife.
You disgrace the
soon-to-be
crown.
wife.
Yeah,
or
soon-to-be wife with child.
Man.
supposed wife.
Yeah, it was. I love that banter.
And then he lied about her being pregnant
Mm-hmm.
and stole a dragon egg.
But that was, I guess the point was that was a golden moment for Rhaenyra. It just showed that she's the one.
Does it seem like to me that her dragon is much more powerful?
Well, Corexes is the name of her dragon.
Corexes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And,
So which one's more powerful, though?
well, Balerion Madrid was the biggest dragon. That was Aegon's dragon.
Mhm.
Basically, the dragon.
Yeah.
So, with that one dying, and apparently it wasn't that long ago because Viserys was the last one to ride him. Corexes is the second oldest dragon.
Mm.
So
Ooh.
Corexes, which is Rhaenyra's dragon, is battle hardened.
Yeah.
That is a
Seasoned
seasoned
veteran.
dragon. Now there might be dragons that are younger and quicker, but that's like
A war horse.
That's what Raymond seems. Raymond seems like real spry and, you know,
Which one's
it
Raymond?
seems like a snake. Or, sorry, Damon.
Oh.
Yeah, my bad. Damon seems like really like a snake, you know? Seems like real slithery, real
Yeah.
spry.
George
quick.
R. Martin did say that the appearance of the dragons has nothing to do with their attitude or their personality.
Mm-hmm.
So it just
really?
happens to. I mean, it's a reptile, and it just happens to. I'm pretty sure, you know, obviously they probably did that to match Damon.
Yeah.
But in the books, it's not really.
I just assumed that was based on its like age and
What I want to know is where
Maturity.
this old monstrous dragon is. I
Well,
know
they
they said
said-
it's somewhere on the shoreline.
The
Of,
narrow sea.
yeah, but I want to see this monster.
How about the fact that dragons are just out there, like not under the control of the Targaryens?
just roaming
Imagine that dragon
It's-
just going through and wiping out a whole
village.
city.
Yeah, you're just trying to tend to your goats or whatever, and you look up and you're like, oh,
That's
we're done.
big.
Where's a Witcher when you need one?
Oh my, yeah. Yeah, they just do some crazy crossover. And
I'll need
Geralt-
some gold to take on something that big. You gotta make it worth my while.
They're just like these dragons are terrorizing us. Who are we gonna call?
I'll need some
Geralt
gold
of
for
Rivia.
this.
Well, I think it's time to get into the more politics, to the king taking a new wife.
Oh,
I think
God.
it's time. Everyone in the realm wanted him to marry that little girl.
I think he made a big mistake, if you want my honest opinion.
Well, first of all, who did the king decide to marry, Josh?
I can't remember her
That's
name.
Why
exactly-
did you do this?
I did that 100% on purpose. I set you up.
The one in the blue dress. That's the
Okay,
one.
Zachary.
Otto's daughter.
Okay, Zachary, tell us who he was gonna wed.
One that pulls her thumbnails off.
You don't know her name?
I can't remember her name.
My goodness, I thought you were gonna come through.
I'm sorry. I can't remember.
So what's her name?
What's her name?
Her name is Lady Alicent Hightower.
Allison.
Oh my
Alicent.
God!
Daughter-
How am I supposed to
Daughter
remember
of
that?
Otto Hightower of Old Town, the protectors
Look,
of the Citadel.
You gotta
You
give
got
me
this
a little.
memorized.
You gotta give me a little bit of slack here
Yeah,
because
but I knew that.
we've got like 100 characters.
I don't have to cut
introduced.
you any slack at all.
We got 100
You're doing this-
characters.
You're doing this for a living.
I
You
think you
wanna
say
do
you're
this?
doing this on purpose.
Well, there's 100 characters.
I bet.
I can't remember all these at one.
How many
episode.
characters do you know in Elder Scrolls?
Oh man, there's Lord Bulger.
I didn't want you to name them. I just wanted to prove a point. You know every one of them
Or
by heart. don't you?
Jarl Bulger. He goes by Jarl.
Yeah, but you can't remember Alicent Hightower, who's gonna be the queen.
Yeah, but I've talked
The
to I've
Queen!
talked to the Jarl like 100 times. I have not talked to this so-called queen, who's young.
He's
Yeah.
like, did I fight Ulfric Stormcloak?
Here's the.
I gutted him like a fish. He got what he deserved.
Well,
No
not
good
not out of
rebellion.
character with this little segment.
No good rebellion.
You're on character with this. Look, man. Let me tell you something. when Lady Alicent Hightower, you got that?
Alicent.
Yeah, okay. When they do the time jump, she's going to be played by Olivia Cook, who in Ready Player One is the love interest of the main character. You know, she's got the birthmark. That's who's going to play her and be the queen.
All right.
That ought to mean something to you. You like Ready Player One.
Yeah. That was pretty good.
What does that mean?
You mean pretty good?
It was really good.
It was an amazing movie.
I'm just saying that he made a big mistake. Because, look, I understand. Well, here's the thing.
Why is it a mistake?
Because
I'm
now,
asking you.
Now, Damon
was a problem before.
Well, now he's an even bigger problem because now he's probably going to marry that young 12-year-old girl that he wanted her to, wanted the king to marry.
The sea snake is going to ally.
The sea snake.
The
sea snake and Damon are going to join forces.
Do you know what the sea snake's name is? Or what house he's from?
He's the sea snake of the water. I don't know. I don't care.
I know. I'm giving you a hard time now.
Oh, Lord.
I found it.
Is he Old Town? No.
No. He's House Valerian.
Valerian. Why can I not? I remember hearing that too.
Basically,
I would have made the king marry the 12-year-old, in my honest opinion.
You make the king.
I would have informed him that would be in his better interest if he married her.
No, here's the thing that I'm interested in. How, like, when they do get older and the king eventually dies.
Oh, come on. He's going to live forever.
The queen, which is Alicent, and Rhaenyra, who's the heir, where's the power struggle going to be in that?
I think that's the basis of the entire show.
That's
the heart of the show.
That's what I'm curious to see is, like, how is their relationship going to be when they're older and they're both basically struggling for power?
I mean, it's off the book Fire and Blood, right?
What?
Fire and Blood is the name of the book that this is off of. This is based on.
That was Fire and Ice.
No, that's Game of Thrones.
I don't know.
You know,
because
of the Night
knowing
King.
that, Zachary.
Fire and Ice.
I know, but
the Targaryens and the Night King. Fire, Ice. This one's Blood. Fire and Blood because
and blood.
Dragon and blood. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it all makes sense somehow.
It's almost like I need to read the effing things.
Here. No, you don't want to do that. Then
Audio book.
Huh?
Oh, well,
audio book.
No, I mean you can't after this show's done in 10 years or so.
Okay.
But here's what I think. If you want to talk about the politics, if he would have married the sea snake's daughter, that's Rhaenys' daughter. The queen that never was. That was her daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So you would wed together and they would have a child that's united by... That would be a pure Targaryen, Valerian, the two oldest and best houses, the two richest, the two most known names. He'd have a direct line from the queen that never was and him. So there would literally be no question. Like, that child would be so just like... It'd be like Tom Brady, you know, like royalty.
Yeah.
Like, no one could even... they would be schooled so hard if they ever questioned the claim. They'd be like, oh, okay, you want a problem with...
You have a problem with this young heir?
You have a problem with
the queen?
With bloodline, with wealth, with...
They all converge into one point.
Now that you've explained that side, tell us what he gains, the benefits he gains by marrying Otto's daughter.
Okay.
Compared to...
Somebody he knows who's above age, or closer to age.
Well,
that's it?
It's better to me.
What he gained by that was marrying someone who he likes and has comforted him through the tough time of losing his wife.
What does that gain the realm?
Nothing. He chose the route of, I'm really comfortable around this girl. I really enjoy her company. And she's young and, you know, she's probably going to produce an heir easily. And that's it. That's really it. I would say that got him control of the Citadel, but he's already king. Like, he's completely over the Maesters anyway.
And here's the thing, anyway. You know Otto is not going to join forces with Daemon because they hate each other.
Yeah.
There's no political play. the king chose, instead of to play the political game, to pick someone that he just personally liked.
Mm-hmm.
I still think he made the wrong decision.
There's probably a hair of politics with Old Town and calling certain banners, but it's small compared to if he would have married, into the Valyrian.
I thought the Hand of the King would be smarter than this, too.
Why?
I mean, he's supposed to be...
You know who the Hand of the King is? He's Walder Frey. He's got a house that's like right under being top, but they both have something very valuable. The twins in the Citadel, and then trying to get their daughter wed to the king. So that Walder Frey and Otto Hightower are very, very similar in that manner. That their houses are not top houses, but they have something of value, and they're trying to move up to that upper echelon.
But this isn't just about the houses. This is about the fate of the 7 kingdoms and the balance.
Well, at the time, it had never been in better hands. We're in peacetime for the longest time, and the Targaryens are the clear rulers. So the king's not thinking about that.
To be fair, they don't know that Daemon is talking to the sea snake.
I don't think that he sees Daemon. He just sees him in the pain in the butt.
It's like a nuisance,
not like a threat. It's his brother.
He's gonna be a threat.
Yeah, we know that, but he's the king's brother.
He even said, "I can't send him to the wall."
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh, my brother, my promiscuous brother."
Yeah,
it's like that, like my problem child brother. He's making a show. He'll calm down.
Yeah,
but I don't think that he really thinks that he's serious.
Well,
and he is.
He's about to find out because he's too blinded by his, brother's blood and their blood together that it's going to get him killed.
Personally, I don't think the king is making bad decisions.
I think he made one bad decision.
What, with marrying Hightower?
I would have rather him not marry anyone at all than marry her, because now he's made an enemy of the sea snake. And that's something you don't want to do during this difficult time.
In my opinion, I do agree with that. If it were me as king, I would not have remarried.
Because you have
angered.
have
to remarry.
Well,
I mean, what?
It could have been postponed until after the situation.
The remarrying and strengthening your line, I mean, that's as old as time. That goes back to any
It still could have been
medieval
postponed.
times. You're literally, the only thing you're supposed to do when you've got the kingdom under control is strengthen your line. That's kind of a given.
I mean, yeah, but
I still wouldn't have done it.
I think that he chose to marry her, and House of Valyrian is loyal to the crown, and I think he just wanted to put his foot down.
What do you think he should have done? Like, personally, what do you think?
Well, it's kind of like the conundrum, right? If he wanted to strengthen his line, do what was best for his reign and the realm, he should have married the Valyrian girl. If he wanted to say, hey man, I'm pretty happy with how things are, no one's opposing me, and I'm the king, and it's like, I'll marry who I want to, and he liked that girl and had a connection, and so he decided to marry her. I don't think it's as big a deal as the show is making it.
Yeah.
Maybe because he made the sea snake an enemy, but it's hard. It's like the Targaryens they're the unquestioned leaders. If you're trying to gain power and gain allies, and it's really important because you're about to war, it's totally different. I think he's just seeing it as like peacetime. Lady Alicent's nice to me.
Yeah.
And there we go. He's not thinking like, I have to secure these allies in case
something goes down.
And honestly, he's a little weak. Like, you could just tell the sea snake Valyrian, like, you can sit there and shut up. We'll take you out back and deal with you and appoint a different Valyrian to do what I say.
I'll go and feed you to my dragon.
I'll feed you to the dragon, and I'll put your brother or your daughter on this high council.
Yeah.
So, but that's what I think. What else? Is there any points you like to make? Is there anything else in this episode you like to hammer down?
We talked about all the big stuff, right?
I don't know. But
I don't know. I'm just making sure. Like, we got all the big stuff. I think we covered all the big stuff.
So what do you think Rhaenyra, like, obviously she was upset with the revelation that he was marrying Alicent. Do you think that's going to play a part?
Yeah, we didn't
recently?
think about that. How that would
I
affect
thought about
everything.
it. I thought about it.
Well, what do you think
I
about?
mean, at
like,
the time we did.
how do you feel about like right now, before she gets older and it's established?
It's gonna definitely drive a wedge between her and her father. And then when they inevitably have children, it's gonna be like my former best friend and my father's children are gonna be challenging me for the throne. So that's like that's deep.
Yeah.
It's gonna run deep. My best friend and my father's children are gonna, if they
Which
have
will start a civil war because of the king's bad decision.
Well, we all know that's gonna happen. The books are written. It's an ended story.
Yeah.
So you want to give your grade out of 100 of this episode?
Yeah. I'm going to give it a 80 out of 100.
I think it was real good.
And you were what, 62 last time?
I was 60.
67?
I was 60. I gave it a
I'm gonna
60
agree
last
with-
time.
I'm going to agree with Josh in the way that no airtime got away in this episode.
Mm-mm.
There was nothing that didn't matter.
Everything was important and useful.
And cool, too, when she landed with that dragon. We had some... you know what I liked? I know this is dangerous to say this, and I don't mean like a clown show. Can we crack maybe one joke? Can we have one?
Oh, you're talking about Tyrion running around, yeah.
I mean, I don't... That's such a...
We looked
nitpick.
for you on the battlefield. You were nowhere to be found.
I'd like to just piss off the wall.
I was here ruling the kingdom.
Yeah.
And what a fine job you're doing.
There's legit. I haven't laughed one time in this show. None.
Yeah, me neither.
They tried to do one joke in the whole show where the king said, "Yeah, try putting it in the other end" or something like that. But it wasn't like a joke.
Yeah.
It was just whatever. So maybe one joke, but I totally get it. They're trying to
I think you need a character for
They're
that.
setting tone. So
Yeah.
I get it.
One thing I did notice is there was a scene where they were in King's is this an interview? In King's Landing, and they were showing a wide shot of part of the kingdom.
Yeah.
And like Josh says, he said that looked weird. It didn't look terrible, but it didn't look good.
It's different.
But I mean, there was
no.
If I were to have a nitpick,
the quality of
the art
shot.
and the shot looked
odd.
It looked drained and colored, blended almost.
It almost looked like CGI from a video game.
But here's
from
my
an
thing.
not a bad looking game, but an older ish looking game.
Yeah.
Kind of like from the beginning of the PS4 era.
The only reason I nitpicked that.
No, I totally see what you're saying.
Because I nitpicked in the last episode about the same thing. But at the same time, this episode also made up for it when they first went to Dragonstone.
Dragonstone actually looked really good. It's certain shots that have that problem.
Yeah.
That look odd.
And I think it's just King's Landing.
It's not taking anything away from it. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Because it is the first season, obviously, budget's not going to be as big as the next ones. Usually the first season they see, hey, do we have to cancel this show if it doesn't do good? Or is it going to do good? Yeah, Resident Evil got canceled.
We'll talk about that in weekly news.
Yeah, I know, but
that's one of the main topics, and I want to blow it on this.
I know we're not going to get into detail on it.
Just all about this episode. Yeah.
But you know what I mean. Though.
Yes.
They wanted to test it out, so they didn't put as much money into it as they will the next season.
I'm not sure they dumped
money
into this.
I completely disagree. I think because it's a prequel show that was coming off the back of something great, I think they're dumping big time money into it now.
Well, the
$30 million an episode is what was reported.
Really?
After the final,
Lord of the Rings is 100.
After the final season, I wouldn't have dumped that much money into it. After what the previous
you're
Game
looking
of
at
Thrones
it as a
season
fan.
did.
You're looking at it as a fan. They're looking at it as a business, and it already has a monstrous built-in audience, whether they're mad or not.
Well, I always thought that
they're gonna buy.
People wouldn't watch it as much because of what happened. That's in my head.
Funny enough, no. Episode 2 had a 10.2 million, so it was up 0.3.
I mean, it is what it is, I guess.
Really, it went up from 1 to 2.
Man, where did that money go in that final season of Game of Thrones?
I don't want to talk about that.
I'm just thinking about it in my head, though. Like, where did all that money go, actually?
In the D&D's
pockets. It's kind of like saying, where did all my money go when my ex-wife left me? We don't know, It's like,
who knows?
It was a terrible situation, and I lost a lot of money.
Fair enough.
But you don't want to drag that into, with your new wife.
Yeah. The past is the past.
You don't want, the sins of the father to mess up the son, or however the saying goes. You know what I'm saying, Josh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got you.
I know. Yeah, you don't. Are you done with this show, or are you still in it?
This episode actually gave me more hope for it.
I'm glad to hear it.
Funny enough, there wasn't a lot of combat. Actually, there was no combat except for one guy getting nailed to a post. Other than that,
there was pretty cool.
There were no fight scenes. It was a diplomatic episode, and guess what? I think it was.
I'm an accomplished diplomat.
I think it was very good compared to the first episode.
I believe the first episode was setting the tone more than anything.
I believe the first episode was trying to shock you, and it went overboard.
No, it wasn't. It was
trying to set the tone.
It was setting the tone for the season.
That didn't set the tone for this episode.
Yeah, it's going to be barbaric and bloody.
And I disagree with that. I mean, I know it's going to be violent and brutal, but I don't think it was trying to do that to set the tone. I think it was doing that just
for shock value.
For shock value.
Well,
similar to how a jump scare in a scary movie works.
It's debatable. It's a debate.
I like how it's been over a week and we're still arguing about
It's a debatable claim.
The point is, this episode was 10 times better.
I think this is a great episode. Was it 10 times better?
I mean, I'm being over dramatic on that. It was
close to the same for me.
It was
as far as likability.
I think it was a lot better because the story was, or the story this go around was better told, and we got to see more of the main star.
Yeah.
Renee. I always
Rhaenyra.
That's how you pronounce it.
It wouldn't be
Rhaenyra.
right if you got it right.
Yeah. So. We got to see more of the main character, her, and her father dealing with the kingdom, in a way that's explained better throughout the story. We got to see the dragons more, and the dragons looked a lot better in this episode than they did the previous episode, which was really cool.
And to piggyback off that, I did love the scene where Princess Rhaenyra is picking her Kingsguard member.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And we have all these important houses. And it would go a long way if she picked the right one. She said, no. Have any of you got combat experience?
In the battlefield.
And the young man said,
I do.
I fought quite a bit. I did a year-long campaign against the Dornish, which were never conquered by the Targaryens. And she right there, she's like, that's who I want right there. And Otto was like, he's a nobody.
Yeah.
And she's like, well.
He said you got to pick, like by house in a sense, because it makes for better allegiances and stuff like that.
She said, this is too important to do that. We need a warrior.
I need someone to protect my father. I don't need these men who've won tournaments and stuff.
Yes men.
I need battle-hardened veterans.
And then you always get the, as you wish.
And you know what? I agree with her.
Me too.
Yes.
I actually do really. People are not going to agree with me. I like Otto a lot. I know he's not to me, he's like the kind of character I just like.
Yeah.
For me, he's indifferent. I'm he makes good decisions, but he also is very stubborn, and he can be selfish.
He's the hand. He's supposed to
But he's also very selfish.
He's acting in the best intentions of the king.
Yeah, the hand.
I disagree.
He's like customer service at Walmart. You know how much crap he's got to put up with?
If he was
he's
helping,
the crap filter.
At least the hand of the king will actually do something.
If he was helping in the best interest of the king, he would have hinted at marrying the 12-year-old girl.
He wasn't going to do that. He wanted his family to move up.
I know, but if I'm just saying, if he was in the king's best interest, he would have pointed him toward that way.
I don't think there was any real harm in him marrying Alicent, except for a couple of little hiccups, but nothing that if he was a powerful king, he couldn't handle.
The only thing is, we know that decision is going to lead to a lot of bloodshed.
A lot of trouble.
Well, you're going to have a problem with Daemon anyway.
Well, yeah, but it's going to be a lot bigger of a problem now than it was.
Well,
because you got the richest house.
You got a rich man.
You got the richest house backing the maniacal brother to the king.
Here's what I'm curious about.
A tyrant.
Here's what I'm curious about. I want to know who on this show, or we haven't seen yet, is a, quote, dragon. We know Rhaenyra is. We know Daemon is. Who else can ride a dragon and command it? I think that's incredibly important.
What about the queen that never was?
See, that's my point. I want to know who can mount and ride a dragon.
Do we think the king will ride upon his trusty steed again?
That's all that you two just said is what I want to know. Who can? Because if you can wield that nuclear bomb, it's going to make a big difference.
I guarantee Rhaenyra is going to be able to ride
Rhaenyra.
Daenerys.
Yeah.
They look alike.
Oh, goodness. Yeah, well, what can you do?
Because it was said that the king rode the last Aegon's dragon, right?
He said that. He might be. I mean, it sounds like a cool tale. Yeah, I rode Balerion Madrid. It almost sounds like something you'd say to sound cool.
like you're at a bar.
Yeah. I got the sneaking suspicion that he did not. The greatest dragon to ever live. He seems a little weak too. Like he doesn't seem like that. He doesn't seem like that cowboy that can tame that horse down. You know what I mean?
Remember Robert? God, when I was young.
God, I was strong back then.
Well, it doesn't make any sense to me because he wasn't in line to be the king just because Jaehaerys' sons died. So what business would he have riding the biggest, best dragon ever?
What was his purpose and duty before he became king? Do you know that?
Just being a rich Richie.
Okay. So
I don't know, to be honest with you. I don't know what his job was.
Like his backstory?
Probably, he was probably on the court, wouldn't you imagine? The Court of Owls? Oh, I had to do that. He's probably on the court, honestly, in some fashion. Because he's a really high up Targaryen.
You don't think that maybe he could have been a warrior of some kind?
No. Nobody's been to war in forever. Not in these guys.
Targaryen's line. Yeah.
No. Well, that's all I got for this episode.
Yeah.
Y'all two didn't give y'all's rating, did you?
Well, I definitely give it a...
I gave mine an 80, so...
I definitely give it an 85. I can't remember what I gave the first episode, but I give this one a solid 85.
I think yours was like a 78 or something.
Yeah, so I guess I'll go with... I see them as pretty equal. They're actually a lot different from each other, but pretty even as far as how much I liked it.
I give it an 87.
What'd you give the
82?
Okay.
Well, that's a good episode, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I think we all agree that this episode was basically slightly better.
Sure.
And Josh thought it was massively better.
I don't think it was doubly. I don't think when I said when I said 10 times better, I meant it as a figure of speech. I meant
20 points higher?
Personally, I like it a lot better.
Yeah,
personally.
20 points
I'm proud of you.
No, because last time I gave it a 6.
I'm actually glad.
You gave it a 60. This time you gave it an 80. That's 20 points higher.
I'm really glad, Josh, because if you didn't like this one, I didn't want you turning into the court jester during these.
Oh.
Because, you were...
Oh, like we give it a high score and Josh is like, I give it a 3.
Yeah, or...
Like, I give it a 70, 80. I'll give it a 20.
Look, man, I want your heart to be in it.
Oh, I am.
You know what I mean? Well,
when I saw her get off that dragon,
you were like, all right,
in front of her uncle, I was like, burn his hair off to match his eyebrows.
I do like how they still have even though everything has gone down, they still have a mutual respect for each other.
I love how
she still respects her uncle. He still respects his niece.
Yeah, I like that. Proper, very proper.
Yeah.
How about the fact that all these girls are gushing over Damon, and like Josh pointed out, he has no eyebrows. Every woman's like, I want to sleep with him, and I'm like, lady, he has no eyebrows. What do you think of that?
People are simping over Damon?
Absolutely. Women say, like, he's a complete a-hole, and, like, they would never date him, but they would definitely do a one-night stand with him.
What? He's hideous. He looks like the pale orc from The Hobbit.
That guy was a force. I don't know
but
if you
here's
can
the
stop
thing.
him.
But here's the thing. He was so buff though. You get past that when you the pale.
Oh my
orc,
goodness!
The pale orc was like.
It's definitely time.
Check out my pecs, little man.
It's definitely time to shut this episode down.
Yeah. The Scooby Doo.
Yeah, it's over. It's getting into Scooby Doo and Looney Tunes. So, are you ready to do the plugs?
I sure am.
Well, we're going to continue our weekly episode of House of the Dragon starting this Friday. It may be Thursday, it may be Friday. They're kind of being wishy-washy. It's going to be the 2-episode premiere of
thank goodness.
The Rings of Power.
I'm excited.
So I'm not quite sure when we will record that. It kind of depends on when it drops.
Wish House of the Dragon would have done that. That would have given me a lot more hope if I would have saw this episode first, or with the first episode.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you. I like 2 episodes. So we're going to do that in a reasonable time frame as soon as it comes out. And then we were going to do that weekly. Every week. The Rings of Power. And I'm going to do a one-off of the entire series of Jason Momoa's Sea. Zachary and I are going to do a 1-episode on Chris Pratt's The Terminal List on Prime. And I'm going to do Clerks 3 in September when it comes to the movies. And
you've got a big one that you've hopped back onto.
And this, I was going to save that for the end.
Well,
but people are going to be appalled, and they're going to take away my credibility. But I have slowly, through the last 8 years, off and on watched Breaking Bad. But I have literally been peer pressured. As a 27-year-old man, I've been peer pressured into finishing this show, and I'm on the final season.
It's almost a shame. It's taken you so long to watch this masterpiece.
Yeah, Chase, what's your problem?
Josh, don't even speak.
So for a absolute bonus episode, Zachary and I, as soon as I finish, we'll be putting out, I'm sure it'll be at least 2-hour review of Breaking Bad.
Of the entire thing? As a whole? Okay.
I'm absolutely certain it'll be.
How many seasons are in that?
5.
Okay. So you got how many? What episode or season are you on?
I'm on the final season.
Okay.
So that'll come out.
Man, you watched a lot and not a lot of time.
Well, I just want to get it over with.
I know.
I actually do like it quite a bit. I'm nowhere near everyone that's told me to watch it, but I guess what I'm saying right now should be said on that episode, not this one.
Yeah.
So, in November, we're going to watch Amsterdam, which is a David O. Russell, Christian Bale-led ensemble cast. And in December, we're going to do Avatar 2. So, do you two want to tell us about video games and about a podcast that you two shot yourself?
Oh, yeah, we shot the Gamescom podcast, and we talked about some of the games. There's a few I didn't mention in there because obviously we don't have good internet where we live. So there was a certain game that I missed out on that I will talk about in the future. Just probably on Weekly News. I was
thinking about putting that down to release Thursday.
Weekly News?
No.
Oh, wait.
Gamecast.
Okay, yeah.
Gamescom.
I was, if you two, with your consent, I was going to put that to release Thursday.
That's fine by me.
Okay.
We will edit it and send it to you.
What else do you have? You don't have to edit it.
Other than that,
no, we got to.
I'm going to
like we have some trailer and sound and all.
Yeah,
that.
we got to edit out some
copyright
because we pretty
issue.
much reacted to it live and then talked about
Yeah.
Oh, well, that might not be Thursday then. In the future.
Yeah. And we also got stuff going on YouTube. We got more podcasts coming up on YouTube, on Dumb Dominos YouTube. So check us out on Dumb Dominos YouTube, and also check us out on TikTok and
Instagram
and Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Finally, Chase,
yeah,
I'll let you talk about that.
Big news for everybody. We're now on every platform that you want to listen to us. We're on Apple, we're on Spotify, and I'd like to send a big thank you out to our podcast host site, Anchor, because the switch to Anchor has really, and we're not sponsored by them or making any money.
No.
I'm just want to personally say it has made my life so much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, and editing videos so much easier. And just to let everyone know, we have a musician friend of ours who has put out professional albums, is working on a custom intro for us.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and before too long, we're going to have a custom Dumb Dominos intro.
I'm excited for that. I want to hear it.
And so big things are coming for this podcast. When I look at our analytics, we're steadily growing.
Yeah.
And our content, we're in the richest time in history for content. Video,
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon, Lord of the Rings, and we've got all.
We had Stranger Things, The Boys,
yeah,
Kenobi.
and that's not even
The
talking.
Angler.
That's not even talking about all the classics we want to get to.
Yeah, like,
that's all real. Yeah. That's all real current stuff.
Then you wanted to do Rambo, didn't you?
I wanted to do First Blood Part 1, First Blood Part 2. We obviously wanted to do the John Wick franchise. We want to do Predator.
Oh, and October's coming up soon. So it's Scary Movie Month. A lot of
scary
everything. Scary in general.
We're
playing scary games.
Yeah. And
talking about some of our favorite scary movies of all time.
We're going to do a lot of pre-recording for the month, and we should get you a plethora of scary content.
Yeah,
yes.
Next month is going to be a lot of watching horror
We've
films.
already got an entire Let's Play of Outlast ready to go to put on YouTube for the month of October.
And so stay tuned. Big things coming from our podcast, and we don't expect to be slowing down. We expect to be ramping up. And we should be even more dialed in and more polished, and I couldn't be more excited.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like we're getting better at this, too.
We are, yeah.
And if y'all guys out there have any suggestions, or
let us know.
If you like it, let us know.
Leave it in comments.
Like the video, or if you think there's a problem with it, I guess disliking. Let us know what it is.
We're gonna,
and we'll work on it.
We just want to get better.
Open to criticism.
And I like to state that at the moment we don't have a podcast schedule, and I like to say that because we're in a time where we have so much to cover that I don't want to pigeonhole, lock us into a time.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. Actually.
It's overwhelming, so we're trying to just do everything that needs to be done, and then just give it right to you guys.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's why it's been janky,
so
two
much
in
movie,
1 day.
television, gaming news all happening.
So if you don't see a pattern or an episode doesn't come up the same day as it did the week before, that's the explanation.
Yeah. Well, we got jobs, so we're not doing this full time yet. Hopefully one day we can.
Our personal schedules are still not blended together well enough to make this.
If we got enough popularity to run ads and do this full time, we could give you a proper schedule, and so that's going to be up to you guys. So just think, if you support us, you're going to get a lot more content.
Yeah.
But that's it for me.
Especially on YouTube, I want to do a lot of stuff on there, but I just don't have the time. But I'm doing my best, and Zachary's been doing a lot. So
that's the episode for House of the Dragon, Season 1, Episode 2.
Oh yeah.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
See you in the next one.